Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back at SMS Design Performance to install a new coilover system for the RS5. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so since I picked up the RS5, I've noticed a couple of things with the stock suspension on it. I don't have the adaptive suspension, so I can't put it into a softer, more like, let's say, comfort mode, but the static suspension that I have is very weird because at low speeds it is kind of bumpy, and then the faster you go it gets bouncy. It doesn't dampen the road really well. So this is what pushed me to get a aftermarket suspension, and what better than Ohlins Road and Track. I'm gonna say that once, and we're just gonna call it Ohlins from now on, because Ohlins, I think that's how you say it in Swedish. If you're Swedish, let me know. They're famous for their fantastic suspension. I've heard really good things about them, and I'm hoping that this kit will alleviate the issues that I've been having and also make it just ride better. And an added bonus is I'll be able to lower the car to correct its stance. I mean, the stance is pretty good from factory, but we could always improve on that. So let's have a look at the kit. Mr. Andres will be putting it together and installing the suspension kit. How are you?
Fine, bro. How are you? I'm
English?
fine. Yeah, I speak English, Arabic, Spanish. What you want, I speak. No,
Say something to your
I have
Spanish
no problem.
friends.
Muchas gracias a todos. Continúen viendo Snowcat SRT y suscríbanse y denle like a los vídeos.
What are the weight savings like, if at all? We got the stock front coilover and it weighs in at around or exactly 11 pounds. And now with the Ohlins on, which is a much sturdier and like larger design, it's 10 pounds. A beefed up design and still a little bit of weight saving. Every pound counts. All right, one side is done. Tomorrow we'll be doing the second side. Tomorrow can be with the magic of editing. 3, 2, 1. And we are back with the car fully done. The suspension is on. I'm about to take it out for a first drive. Obviously, when you're installing a new coilover kit, you need to give the car a couple of days for the suspension to settle. And then after that, we're gonna do an alignment, and only then I probably will have the maximum effect. But either way, I'm gonna take it out now, go for a spin, and tell you my first impressions. It has been almost a year since I first recorded the installation of this kit. A lot has happened, but that's a story for another time. But I do remember what it was like when I first picked it up, and it was a complete transformation. All of the issues that I had with the stock suspension, taken care of. The ride still is pretty stiff, as you would expect from a sports car. However, the dampening or the rebound is absolutely incredible. It's totally changed the car. I can now feel the suspension. I can actually feel how the shocks are working, dampening the whole car upon acceleration, taking corners, and even braking. Seriously, the brakes felt sketchy for a performance car in any other conditions than a flat, smooth surface with the suspension struggling with weight and imperfections on the road. And then there was the bumpiness at high speeds. Sports cars in my days used to be a lot lighter, and nowadays they're getting heavier because of technology and all the safety regulations and all that blah blah blah. And the RS5 is no exception to that rule. But nowadays, having a more sophisticated suspension is more important on a twisty road than extra horsepower. And you can definitely feel it now after the upgrade. Now, some of you might have noticed that I have different wheels on the car. These are 21 inches instead of the standard 20 and eat a lot out of the tire wall intended for this car. This obviously had an effect on the ride quality, so at this point I would say that the harshness of it is similar to the stock feel. Another note about my RS5 is that I don't have the adaptive suspension, but don't worry, if yours does and you still want to change, you can still do that, as they have a cancellation kit that tricks the computer that it's still working. The Ohlins are adaptive too, but only manually by turning the knobs on each corner. I initially set my settings to number 10, as there are 20 settings to fine-tune your ride. I did that on purpose to figure out if I wanted it to be stiffer or softer after, instead of having to guess which number I prefer over the other, and so far it's been perfect. I've never changed it since, never felt the need to. All in all, I'm very happy with this direction. I just feel much more connected with the car, and I'm able to push it more because of that confidence the suspension gives me. And the lowered look, well, it's just icing on the cake.